What is the strongest and lightest material to construct the interior of your camper van? Well, it's extruded aluminum. And in this video, I'm going to explain exactly why we use it, how we use it. I'm going to tell you about some resources that we're introducing that are going to help you construct your camper van interior. So if you're in the middle of building a camper van and you're kind of stuck, or you're even considering building a camper van of your own, then this video is definitely for you. So let's get into it. Okay, so this van right here is our Moab layout. It's our most popular layout. It's the layout that after building over 30 vans, I think 90% of them have been the Moab layout because it just offers a really open feel. The lowers all will work in a Sprinter or Transit. The uppers are specific to the Sprinter. And that is because of the curves and the angles. In order to get these to meet up with the ceiling, the back wall, and everything to be square, these measurements are pretty precise. And so these will not work on a Transit, but the lowers will. So why do we use the extruded aluminum? I started using extruded aluminum on my second van. My first one I did all out of wood. And I found some real limitations to that. One of them is the weight. Another is the access to everything. Another consideration is the strength. You know, I just felt like in an accident, everything out of wood is just going to break apart and splinter. So I started researching extruded aluminum construction, and I found some good resources that I used, but a lot of them were lacking, didn't give me everything I needed, and so I really had to dive in and do some research on how exactly to do it. Now, after building over 30 vans using the extruded aluminum, we've developed some techniques and some best practices that make it go really smoothly. We've also found resources that are, we think, the least expensive. So a lot of people think, oh, extruded aluminum costs a lot of money. Well, it can, but the material that we use is about the best price that we've found. It's about 30 to 50% less than the name brand 80/20 brand, and it's every bit as good. So as far as weight, you can see all of this construction here. Now, I don't have exact numbers, but I can tell you, building vans out of all wood construction, building a mechanical box or a galley, and trying to lift it in and out of the van, which you tend to do a lot when you're building a van, is putting things in, taking them out, putting them in, taking them out. With wood, it takes two people to lift any of those. With the extruded aluminum, I by myself can lift everything in and out. So I know that they're a lot lighter just in practice, having used them. The other thing is we only cover the things that need to be covered, but because of the construction, I call it kind of like a skeleton. Everything is just rock solid. It's not going anywhere, and it doesn't need the wood for stability or strength. Okay, the wood is simply a cosmetic covering, so you can really use lighter materials for the covering. What we use in our garage area back here is 1/2-inch hex ply. It's just a Baltic birch plywood with a phenolic resin covering on both sides. And so we'll just use 1/2-inch. You could use 1/4-inch, but what I found is that the 1/4 tends to just be a little bit wavy, whatever material you use. The 1/2-inch is a little bit more stable. Also, if you're putting doors and things and screws, the 1/2-inch works a lot better. So what we'll do on these is we'll just cover these insides right here and the backs. The tops will not have covers because our bed platform will be over it, and the fronts don't because they're open to here, and the backs don't. So that saves a lot of weight. It also lets things breathe a lot better. Your electrical and plumbing systems generate a lot of heat, and so having that airflow is really nice. Now, moving up to the galley, these are two separate pieces, but we bolted them together. And so it just makes everything super strong. I mean, obviously we haven't crash tested these, but I can tell you that in an accident, this is going to be a lot stronger than wood constructions that's just screwed into the walls. Okay, as far as the covering for this, same idea. We'll put a little piece right here to cover this, and then the front will just be the drawer faces. Okay, we'll have all of our drawers will have faces. This cabinet door will have faces. This galley is built for a sink, a bank of drawers, and a isotherm CR130 refrigerator. Okay, if you're going to use a different refrigerator, you can modify this just by sliding these over, making either your sink a little bit wider or your bank of drawers a little bit wider to fit the whatever refrigerator you use. Drawer slides, we just attach them right into the 80/20 using T-nuts and screws, so it makes them really easy to put in and adjust and pull out. And we like to use the undermount drawer slides by either Blum or Silice. We've been using the Silice a lot lately because they have a little bit more adjustability. And then we'll just put our countertop on top of this. So again, the back is open, allows everything to breathe. In between the drawers and the refrigerator, everything is open. And so if you ever need to get at something, you can pull a drawer out and you can get back behind. You can pull your refrigerator out and get it at things. It gives you all the strength that you need with accessibility and breathability, which I think is super important. So really the only panel we'll put on this will be the end panel here on the end of the galley. Everything else will just be covered by the drawer faces. And again, I can pull this whole thing, lift it up and take it out of the van myself with no help, okay? And that's a lot lighter weight than what a wood cabinet carcass would weigh. Now, before I move to the uppers, just want to talk a little bit about how we attach these. Now, I've done some videos specifically on attaching things to the van, but what we do is we use number 14 sheet metal screws, you know, pretty big heavy duty screws, and we drill right through the 80/20 and screw them into the wall. So we've got screw here, 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 and here into the wall, and then we screwed here, here, and here, 3 into the floor. And so we've got it screwed into the floor. You could use riv nuts, but we find that the screws going into the heavy duty sheet metal is plenty, especially on a Sprinter. The sheet metal is pretty thick on a Sprinter. On Transits and ProMasters, not quite as thick, so you might want to use riv nuts there, but it's really up to you. But we found just using the number 14 sheet metal screws is fine. We always use stainless steel. We just bore them out and just screw them right in, and you can see everything is super strong. Now, we have developed these little spacers that we use. These are just 1 inch by 1 inch, and we do them in different thicknesses, anywhere from a 1/16 up to a 1/2 inch in 1/16 inch increments. We do 5 of each size, and you can purchase these on our website. These work well for even if you're doing wood. We've used them for other things for spacing them, but they're designed specifically for the extruded aluminum. And so you just put these in there and to make sure everything's square. Now again, I've done a video, but we strike a line down the middle of the van and we measure everything from the middle because the walls are not necessarily exactly square and parallel. But the middle of the van, if you find the center and then measure to there, here, in the middle, and here, measure across from here and here, make sure everything's square, then you can find the spacer that fits and just screw in right through it, because you don't want to have gaps between your bars and your wall when you screw in. You want to have that space filled. And so these basically just act as a little, kind of like a little furring piece to make sure everything's square. So these are on our website.
Hey guys, are you a DIY van builder? That's how we started, and we love to support the DIY community. So we've created some resources that have helped in our journey, and we've made them available to you. We've got a free spreadsheet with all of the materials we use in our conversions. That's taken hundreds of hours to research and that we've tested and proven out. We have a download with the van build sequence that we use in all of our conversions. Plus, we've got other products on our website that tons of DIY builders have found helpful. Check out the links in description below for more details.
Then the way that we construct the bed is, first of all, these mechanical boxes, we make them 56 inches, okay? And then what we do is on the back, we just hang the bed platform over by 4 inches. So that gives you a 60-inch bed. That works great if you're doing capsules or flares. So you can sleep across and have, you know, depending on the depth of your pop outs, you can have up to 80 inches wide by 60 inches across. So you can sleep east to west, and you basically got a queen size bed. So what we'll do here is we'll just put 4 15 series bars. Now these are 10 series. We use 15. You could probably get away with 10 if you want. We put them across, 4 of them, attach them to these with brackets, and then we'll just lay our bed platform on top of it. The way we do our bed platform is we make one piece that fits here, one for the center and one for the other side. That way, if you ever need access, you can just pull your mattress up, fold it back, and you can lift out one of the pieces and get access through the top. Now, we also cut doors in our faces so that you can get access through the front as well. But if you need to, like, say, remove this water heater, it's a lot easier to get access from the top, or your inverter or something like that on the other side. And so you just pull a panel back and be able to get access to all that. Now, let me just talk about the uppers. So you can see this upper cabinet. These uppers are 90 inches long. They're about 11 and a half or 12. They're not exactly, they're like, I can't remember the exact measurements, but these uprights are they're approximately 12 by 12, but not exactly, because in order to get everything square, hitting on the ceiling and on the back wall and have this square, they have to be a very exact length. Otherwise, you know, if this was a little bit longer, then that would cause your cabinets to be like this, or if they're shorter, they'd be back this way. And so this upright is really critical. But anyway, they're 90 inches long, and then we have 4 opening. And the way that we do these is we just use 1/4 inch plywood in the bottom, slide it into the slots. And then for the backs, we use ABS. You can purchase this at sign supply shops is where we get it. A sheet of it, and you can just cut it. You can cut it with a razor knife, and we cut a piece for the back, okay? And these can pop out. So if you ever need access to behind, let's say you have wires, or sometimes people will put a fuse block or something behind this, you can just pop these liners out and access back behind. And then we use the same ABS for these dividers in between. We really like to use these Utrusta hinges. We get these at IKEA, and really like them, and I've done full videos on these, but they're very adjustable. You don't need any pneumatic struts to hold things up. They're super strong, super adjustable. We use these in every van build. And so we've structured this with a extruded aluminum bar going this way and this way so that we can screw these hinges into that bar, okay, and have something to mount it to. Now I have to say the uppers were the thing that took me the longest. Actually, the first couple of vans that I did using extruded aluminum, I only did the lowers. Using the extruded aluminum, I did not do the uppers. I did those out of wood because I just couldn't figure out really how to do the extruded aluminum uppers and make them look really good. But we decided with our team to really figure out how to do it. And so we spent some time figuring out the measurements, figuring out how to touch the hinges. On the end panels, all we do is we just cut a panel and just attach it to the end. So once we figured all that out, then, and the dimensions and everything to get it square, how to mount it, we've used that ever since. And again, we just love these because it's, when you're building a van, it's so important to be able to take things in and out, because you want to get things in place, figure out if they work and they're the right dimensions, but then a lot of times you need to do things behind it. And so it's just easier to get them out. Our mechanical boxes, we build everything, the plumbing, the electrical systems, on a bench, and then we just lift the whole thing up and put it in. Being able to do that, especially if you're working by yourself and be able to lift everything by yourself, super important. So you can see up in the front, we've got a microwave, and we do 2 versions. We do this Contour RV microwave is our kind of our standard. And then we also do a 3-in-1 microwave. Now Contour does make a 3-in-1 that's really nice, but it's massive. And it would stick out this far and hang down this far. It's just really too big for a van. So we found another one that works great. It's made by GE, a lot smaller. This actually is about 2 inches deeper and 1 inch lower than this microwave. And so all we do on that box is just build it a little bit deeper, and so it just hangs down an inch further, and you just see the bar here, and then it comes out 2 inches further, and you put a piece in here. Really easy to do, but that's kind of our go-to microwave. It's a microwave, convection oven, and air fryer all in one. So it really gives you a lot of flexibility when you're cooking in a van. Now, about a year ago, I did a video where I talked about the uppers and said that we were going to be offering kits so that you could order them and build these uppers. Now, at the time I did that video, I said in a few weeks we'd be offering these, and I apologize for those who patiently waited and have hounded us like, are they ready? Are they ready? Because we're a small shop and we don't have a lot of resources for customer support to be able to walk people through every step of this. And so we really needed to make sure that we could come up with a system that wasn't going to require a lot of hand holding, that you'd be able to get this and be able to build it without any issues. So we actually hired an industrial designer to design all of these and in a way that was basically an instruction manual on how to assemble them. So what he did is he created a booklet for each one with all of the steps to build the galleys. All the parts, has a complete parts list, and has instructions, has step by step where each bracket goes, what size bars to use. So we think this is really going to be an awesome resource for DIYers to be able to assemble their own cabinets. We have these for each piece. We have them for the electrical, the plumbing, the galley, the uppers, the microwave, and the 3-in-1 convection. So we've got them for all of these. Now we're going to make these plans available on our website. So what you'll do is you'll go in and you can purchase the individual components, or you can purchase the whole thing as a package. Then you're going to order all of the parts. Okay, so there's no markup at all. We're going to provide to you the information for the company that we use. They will cut everything to order. So basically you'll just go through the parts list, you'll go on their website, you'll order everything, they'll ship it directly to you, and then you'll just use those instructions to assemble it. So what it's going to include is all of the extruded aluminum, all of the brackets that you need to assemble all of these parts. What it won't include are the hinges, the drawer slides, the base piece, the liners. We'll give you the instructions on how to mount, for example, the hinges and how to cut the bottom pieces and the liners. We think this is going to be an awesome resource for people that are building their own vans and want to be able to do it out of extruded aluminum. But quite frankly, there's quite a learning curve with extruded aluminum, especially on the just figuring out where brackets are needed. And, you know, we've strategically, in some places to add strength, we use gussets. To other places, we use regular 2-screw corner brackets. There's lots of really important considerations that go into designing these. We've taken all of that guesswork out of it, and you're just gonna be able to order the parts. We'll have instructional videos on how to assemble it along with the instructions. These are going to be digital, so you'll just download them. You can print them off if you want, or you can just look at a computer, follow along with your computer or phone or iPad to be able to assemble everything. But we think this is going to open up the possibilities for DIYers to be able to build a really professional looking, strong, lightweight van. There's a link down below, and also put a link up here that you can go to our website. You can see all of the information about these, and you can get all the information about the digital downloads for all of this cabinetry. Now, if you want to see more videos like this, we have lots of other videos about constructing a van out of extruded aluminum, how to mount them, how to cover them, all things like that. Then be sure to check out the channel. And if you got value out of this video, please consider subscribing and be sure to smash that like button. And we'll see you in the next video. Jeff with Thrive Vans, Thrive On. See ya.